Hey, Howard.
In case you need a lawyer, here's my business card. I'm attorney Howard Ankin.
Oh, hey, Howard.
If you or someone you know has been hurt at work, Ankin Law can get the medical bills paid, the lost wages reimbursed,
Oh, hey, Howard.
and the compensation you deserve.
Hey, Howard.
We're one of the largest filers throughout the state of Illinois of workers' compensation claims. We're here to help. Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal, that's Ankin Law.
The other player on Thursday night making his debut in AAA for the Chicago White Sox, Noah Schultz. Now, when you look at the box score, it's not pretty. Schultz went 5 1/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 6 earned runs. He walked 1. He struck out 5. He did allow a home run. 86 pitches, 60 strikes for Noah Schultz. And this is important for Schultz to be in AAA, especially for us at Sox Machine, because now we get StatCast data for Noah Schultz. And out of the 86 pitches that Noah Schultz threw, 39 two-seam fastballs, 32 curveballs. I did not know that registered as a curveball as far as his breaking pitch. Just 2 sliders, 5 changeups, and 8 four-seam fastballs. I'm sorry. His average pitch velocity on the two-seamer was 95.5 miles per hour. His curveball is 82. His four-seamer is at 96 miles an hour. So that's the first start. And I know you're going to write more about this, Jim, on SoxMachine.com with the minor keys. And cap tip to the future Sox guys. They do a fantastic job of getting the video highlights and posting them on social media. But the thing about Noah Schultz that James Fegan texted us that I was not aware of is in AAA, they use the same baseball as the majors, which means that the baseball that Noah Schultz was using in Birmingham is completely different than the one that he's now throwing in Charlotte. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to register that type of information. Are pitches going to be different for Noah Schultz, or is that where we are right now and wait and see to see just how close Noah Schultz is to the major leagues? That despite being in AAA doesn't mean that, oh, he could be in Chicago tomorrow, right?
No, I think there's going to be, some development in terms of his pitch mix. Like, he was working a lot with his cutter in Birmingham, and Brian Bannister talked about James didn't like what it was doing to his mechanics. Didn't like that it didn't mesh well with his pitch mix. Kind of threw his rest of his strike throwing game off. The walk rate really spiked at Birmingham. Schultz, for as tall as he is, like, strike throwing has never been a problem. So seeing the clusters of walks, 3, 4, 5 a game over 4, 5, 6 innings is more than you want to see. So the fact that he went to Charlotte, didn't throw cutters, and to clarify in his pitch mix, I would consider the curveball a slider. Everybody calls it a slider when you talk to people. So I would expect with Schultz, just because he does change speeds and tilts on it, that you'll probably see some weird classifications. I don't think they clean up the data as well for AAA as they do for the majors. So, when he's throwing his changeup, that might look a little bit different since that's like a seam effects, and that might be harder. Some might be conflated with sinkers. But seeing him throw strikes, I think, was maybe the most important thing. Also, the velocity being fine, like, averaging 95, 96, that's in line with where he should be. So 2 out of 3 things are fine. It's just a matter of, being effective. And I think as we go along here with him in AAA, righties really hit him surprisingly well in Birmingham. And that's part of the reason why they're working on a cutter, was thinking that might be the solution to get righties off the slider or the sinker when the slider is not working exactly the way Schultz wants it to work. The thing that kind of confused me in terms of where he was at the end of 2024 and what he's looked like so far this year is, I thought at the end of last year, the 4-seam fastball up in the zone was his weapon against righties to stop looking like, change eye levels and stop looking at like thigh high and lower sinkers and sliders. If the pitch doesn't break the right way, I can get my barrel on it and pull the left field. The 4-seam fastball up and away seemed to be very effective for him at the end of the year and seemed to catch the Southern League off guard. And then this year it's been more or less, not necessarily scrapped, but an afterthought. You're taking the back seat to the cutter and the changeup. And so, like, he threw 8 4-seamers and, to get 3 whiffs on him. So I think I would like to see that come back into his mix more as they figure out his effectiveness against righties. But that's probably what I'm looking at between, I guess, watching Schultz between now and whenever he gets called up to the majors is strike throwing, velocity, and then what are righties doing to him?
Okay. No, that's good to know. And again, now having StatCast, now knowing that he's throwing the same baseball as they're throwing in the major leagues, I am curious to know if it is impacting any of his pitches, if his pitches now work differently because that he's just using a different baseball. That'd be pretty drastic, but we've already seen how drastic the game can change by literally just changing the baseball. But it's good to see that Schultz is in AAA. And again, the runs allowed, not great, but it's just his first start. 60 strikes, though, on 86 pitches. To Jim's point, living in the zone, that is a good sign. So I am eager to see what Noah Schultz does in his second start with the Charlotte Knights, but that's another top prospect that is closer to join the Chicago White Sox in the upcoming years.
Thanks for watching this Sox Machine video. Make sure to subscribe to the Sox Machine podcast wherever you listen to podcasts such as Spotify and Apple Music. Follow us on social media. We're on all the platforms at Sox Machine. And always subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Sox Machine.